Hello, my name is Renee, and I'm the founder and owner of Let's Roll Store, home of the Let's Roll Cruiser Motorcycle Dolly and Lift. Welcome to the Let's Roll Motorcycle Interview Show, where I interview industry leaders in the field of motorcycles. All right, so let's roll and get to it. I'd like to introduce my very first guest on the Let's Roll Motorcycle Interview Show, the popular motorcycle safety expert and former Elite NYPD Motorcycle Lieutenant, host of Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle channel. Help me in welcoming Robert Simmons. So welcome, Robert, to our channel here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So you have been a motorcycle influencer on YouTube since 2020, and it looks like you have 83,000 at least subscribers and nearly 9 million views. Which is amazing. I mean, just for a few years that you've been out there. Many of us have been following you, but we really don't know your origin story. Where did you grow up, and what are some facts about you that we don't know, or some of your viewers might not know?
All right. So 1995, right? That's when I started with the NYPD. And what people probably don't know is my mother told me to take that test. And I told her I didn't want to be a cop. And she told me, you take the test anyway. And if they call you and you don't want the job, you can always turn it down. Well, back then at 22, 21 years old, one trait that I still have today is once I get into something, I'm into it. And I was into it. I took all kinds of tests. And, looking back, I'm so happy I listened to my mother because so many things that I have in my life are a result of that job. And that includes what I'm doing here, on YouTube. Before I got promoted to sergeant, I went to the highway patrol. Now, here's another thing a lot of people might not know. This whole motorcycle thing to me, I was never a big motorcycle lover. Like I didn't go to the highway patrol because it's a motorcycle unit. 1995, same year, I'm a rookie. The Pope came to New York and I'm standing on a foot post on the FDR Drive. And it's cold. And I look up the highway and I see a police car. And I know that guy in that car is a cop, just like I am. But he is sitting down, he's warm, I'm standing up, and I'm cold. And all I said to myself is, I don't know what unit he's in, because remember, I'm brand new. But whatever unit that is that's allowing him to sit in that car, I want to be in that unit. And that unit was the highway patrol. And I learned later that you have to know how to ride a motorcycle to be in the highway patrol.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so 2001, I went to a motorcycle school. And I got to tell you, people tell me how patient I am out there when I'm working with people. And it's easy to be patient when I'm seeing myself in these other people, right? I just was not getting it. And I don't care how much they told me, head and eyes, don't put a foot down. And I almost broke my ankle in wheel school too. So I know the pain of putting your foot down and getting that rear saddlebag or saddlebag guard hitting your Achilles or your heel. It's not good. It's not So, but it took me 4 days. On that fourth day, I don't know what happened. Another guy was in an exercise called the clover leaf. And he went down on the motorcycle and he kept his feet on the footboards and he was just sitting on the motorcycle and the motorcycle was resting on the engine guard and the saddlebag guard. Me seeing that erased the fear I had in my brain of the motorcycle falling and crushing my leg, or I don't know what I was thinking.
Wow.
And after that, I was able to just trust and believe, keep the motorcycle in the friction zone, and if it fell, I'd be okay. And I often tell people, see, I'm gonna start straying, I know it, but I often tell people, when they come out and they practice, I know they're gonna feel nervousness, anxiety, pressure. Really no pressure. I was under pressure because I had a certain amount of time that if I didn't get it, I'm going back to that post where I'm freezing. So, luckily I got it, and then I got promoted to sergeant. And I got to tell you, the highway patrol is such an elite and a unit that people want to be in that I actually was second guessing taking a promotion because I knew it would take me out of the unit, which at the time was a ridiculous thought, but it crossed my mind. So I left. I came back as a lieutenant in the highway patrol, and that was even better because now I remember being a cop in the highway patrol and being in a large motorcycle package and looking up all the way to the front, seeing the sergeant, I'm not the sergeant. Well, yeah, sergeants too, but or lieutenant or captain leading that package. And I remember saying to myself, man, I would love to do that one day. And now here I am. But
That's cool.
yeah, and being able to continue the traditions in the highway patrol as a lieutenant of police, and it was just a lot of fun. So leaving that job it was very bittersweet. It really was. But one of the perks of the job is a 20-year retirement. So I retired with 22 years. I was 44 years old when I retired. So, I mean, it's an awesome perk as far as I'm concerned. Why not take advantage of it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then after I retired, my wife and I, we moved here to Pooler, Georgia. And that's the origin.
All right, Robert. So tell me about your career as a New York City Police Department Highway Patrol Motorcycle Lieutenant. And how did you become an elite officer?
So I became an elite officer because, again, I started there as a cop. And again, 4 weeks of motorcycle school. Motorcycle school is the first thing you do because they want to eliminate you right away if you don't know how to ride a motorcycle because it's a motorcycle unit. Now, contrary to what people might believe, it's a motorcycle unit, but it's not like chips. You're not riding a motorcycle all of the time going on patrol. No, It's cars mostly. Certain things require a motorcycle. Certain times motorcycles are best. But for the safety and the practicality of patrol, a car is going to outweigh a motorcycle. Now, sometimes there's been times when an accident happened on the highway and the highway's all backed up. And I've actually driven back to the base and got a motorcycle because I knew I would get there quicker on a motorcycle versus a car. This is just a bunch of fun. I say all the time, the highway patrol is like the 13th grade. You know, we drive fast cars and ride harley-davidson. So
you can't beat that, can you?
Beat that. And just a great group of guys. I love the regimented. I love the way the highway patrol is regimented. But you'll always be able to tell a highway patrol NYPD officer versus any other kind. You know, yes, the uniform is different, but everything's different. You know, the cars, everything's clean. All of this stuff is looked at. It means something. When you go to court and testify, you're expected to win. You know, you're not expected to go in there and be unprepared. And the funny part is it's known all through the job. It's known through the DA's office. So they know if they have to put a cop on the stand for a DWI or DUI, and it's a highway cop, it automatically makes the ADA feel better because they know they're going to have a better chance. You know, there's not going to be so much coaching going on. But, you know, so it's a pride that goes along with being in the highway patrol and to wear the wings with the wheels. Like that's pride because that means you passed motorcycle school.
Nice.
So I loved it. I just loved it. All of my uniforms were custom made. And everybody doesn't do that, but most highway patrol cops do. You know, custom shirts, custom breeches, boots shined. Listen, how you look is so important in everything you do in life for the most part. And definitely in law enforcement, you know, that means being in shape. All of that stuff matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that description. It gives us a really clear view of, you know, how you portray yourself, right?
Absolutely. And what's most important out of all of that is being professional. You know, being professional, being courteous, you know, understanding how to speak to people, you know, being a de-escalator, not a, you know what I mean? So all of that stuff comes into play. And I felt better coming back as a lieutenant because not only will I always convey that, lead by example, always be on time, always be sharp. It's easier for me to tighten up a subordinate if I'm tightened up, you know, and then they know what's expected of them, as well as not asking somebody to do something that I wouldn't do, and also knowing how to talk to people so that I don't have to say I'm the boss. And I always say that if you have to say you're the boss, you're not a good leader.
Exactly.
You know?
Well,
because they know.
I took you know, a gun class, and the whole idea is not to use the gun, right? And I'm sure that's what you're taught as well.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
You only use it absolutely when you need to.
Absolutely. And being in that unit, you know, it's said because it's true. If something big is going on in New York City, the highway patrol is going to be involved. It's simple as that. They're going to be involved.
Wow.
If it's tragic or if it's great, they're going to be involved. If the president's coming, the best detail is the vice presidential detail. And that's because that detail was mainly motorcycles. A lot of fun. Sometimes you would, at the end of the day, I'd say, I can't believe I'm getting paid for what I did today. I had a ball out there, just a ball.
It sounds like it, man.
Yeah, it was a great group of guys there. A great group of guys. So, a lot of the times people say, I miss the clown, not the circus. Well, I miss a little bit of both.
Was there a point in your life where you had an idea of anything of any sort of a direction you wanted to go in your life?
Yeah, I remember I wanted to play baseball. I was really big into baseball. I was a pitcher. I played the infield, I played the outfield, but I really enjoyed pitching. And in my mind, I was going to do that in college and see what happened after that. I went to college, but I had to work too. So I couldn't even play baseball in college really and while I was in college, this was the time when I was testing for the NYPD. And once they called me, I left. Yeah, I joined the NYPD. The earlier you can get into your career, the better.
Absolutely.
The earlier the better, especially if it's a job where 20 years and you can leave.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. So while you were an NYPD motorcycle cop, was there any aspect of it that ignited your passion for motorcycle safety?
Oh yeah, I've responded to a lot of motorcycle accidents. Some fatal, not all, but all of them could have been avoided if people practice. So with that being said, as a lieutenant, here's another example of the benefits of coming back to that unit as a lieutenant. As a police officer, I wouldn't have been able to just take a motorcycle, go into the parking lot, set up cones, and just start practicing and encouraging others to do so. However, as a lieutenant, yeah, I did that. And even in that unit, this is why I tell people all the time, don't think just because a person has boots and breeches on that they're going to be better than you controlling their motorcycle at slow speeds. It's a perishable skill. You have to practice it. And I would have people, I would set the cones up and tell guys, if they're on their lunch break or whatever, listen, guys, want to come out here, nothing crazy, just something to keep us loose, stay in practice, keep your confidence up. And those same words I heard then, I hear all the time. I'm good. I'm good, Lou. No, you're not good. You're a motorcycle cop and you're shying away from making some U-turns. So, I enjoyed the fact that I can help them out in that way. Yeah,
absolutely. That's awesome. So you call your viewers and subscribers preloaders. Can you please explain what that means?
Yes. So preload is a term that I use all of the time. Preload and keep it loaded. What are we keeping loaded? Referring to the throttle on your motorcycle. Preloaded means you're going to bring the RPMs up, whatever they need to be. And again, this depends on if you're using a motorcycle that's necessary. Usually it's necessary from the start. Now, every motorcycle, once it starts moving, you probably don't have to keep it loaded if it has a high idle. However, most of us, we have to keep it loaded. So my wife said to me, who is just a huge part of everything that's going on here, huge part. She said to me, you need to come up with a name for your subscribers. And I'm like, a name? And she said, yes. People like to be a part of something. They want to be called something.
Part of a group.
Part of a group. Exactly. So she said, you use preload all the time. Why not call them preloaders? And I said, wow, I love it. I love the fact that it ends with an S. It's all of them. It describes what we're all doing anyway. We understand the concept of it. So bam, preloaders were born. And to this day, I tell people that's all my wife.
Nice.
That's a lot of stuff you can ask me about Preloader Nation. And I'm going to tell you, that's Anita.
That's awesome. Well, kudos to her.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So how many motorcyclists have you trained to ride more safely? And what are you most proud of in terms of increasing safety among motorcyclists on the road in America?
How many motorcyclists have I trained to ride safely? I have no clue. You'd figure we're actually at 84,000 and change as far as subscribers. So, who knows how many people? You have no clue as far, and people at practice sessions.
How many have you had in practice sessions? Do you have a number of people that you've actually trained? No. Okay.
No clue. Because another thing about my practice sessions are, it's very informal. it has seemed to have gotten more formal as time has gone on. But even to this day, it's still lighthearted. It's fun. We have a ball out there. We are learning. That's the most important thing. And what better environment to learn in than a positive, fun environment?
Absolutely. You just can't be so serious about
Yeah,
things, right?
absolutely. Now
I,
what I'm most proud of is how this group of people has come together, and we are just so positive. Right now, yes, I always say positivity is all I'm about, and negativity will never be tolerated. And you attract what you are. So I guess the fact that everybody's so positive around me is not a surprise, but we really are, in my opinion, in Preloader Nation, above and beyond personalities. That's all I've come into contact with. So I'm proud of people that have stepped outside of their comfort zone and decided to practice. And most human beings, if we learn something and we know it will benefit others, we almost feel compelled to share that. That's why I always say, once you start learning how to do this, then yes, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Other people duck walking their bikes or seeing the uncertainty. Don't make fun of them. Help them, because that's that that's that attitude and that stigma that I'm trying to get away from. Is people feeling like they're going to be made fun of. I'm trying to do everything I can to encourage people to practice, not discourage them. And that's why if somebody goes out there and they have a rough day, all they're focusing on is all the stuff they did wrong, and I'm going to tell them all the stuff they did right or well. So I'm proud of everybody for just being who they are and continuing to spread the word, continuing to practice, and understanding what this is really all about, what the real goal is.
Nice. And I bet you that anyone who walks away from your sessions are going to share all the positive aspects of being there.
Yeah.
And they're only going to speak highly of you, which then in turn will help others to come or encourage others to come take your class, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll be driving safely. And it's just going to increase the safety of motorcyclists on the road all around, which has got to make you feel proud of.
It really does. It really does. I just started making patches now, and some people are ordering the patches because they want to wear the patch. They want to show people.
So cool. I
Yeah,
didn't know you had patches. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Let me show you. Well, this is not one of the official ones, but there's a patch right there.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, beautiful.
So, it's yeah. I say all the time, who am I? Even today, I say, who am I? Why would somebody listen to me? But all they have to do is say, look, here's a video. Watch some videos. Now, the bad part is you're going to have some friends to go, oh, yes, I definitely want to do that. But the way the motorcycle community is, most of them, I'm good. I've been riding 50 years, never dropped the bike. I'm good. That's what we're dealing with. So, it's a work in progress.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. So what was your path toward becoming a social media content creator? And how did your career evolve with what you're doing now?
Oh, very interesting question. Very interesting question. Because like many things that turn out great, none of this was my plan. I remember I was going to do ride like a pro. And it's when I was in New York, it was something I said I would do, but I'm not coming from New York to Florida to do it. But now I'm in Georgia, I'm retired, and I said to myself, it's 5 hours away. Yeah, why not? So when I went there and did that, it was fun. And he actually offered me a franchise. And on the ride home, I said, I don't want to do something like that, but I want to do something. I want to be able to give back something. So I took my motorcycle out to the parking lot and just did a video, and I called it the basic fundamentals of slow speed maneuvers. That was it. After that video, every other video after that, I was riding the Harley-Davidson or maybe putting something on the motorcycle. I still had no clue what I wanted to do. And then one day I put out a video standing in my garage and basically saying, I want someone to come out and practice with me. I'm sick of practicing by myself, right? That led to practice session number 1. And practice session number 1, I remember at the time when I first started this, people told me, okay, YouTubers have a short attention span. So you need to make sure your videos are 5, 10, 12, 15 minutes tops.
Wow.
But now my practice session videos are 3 hours, 4 hours. The one in Texas was 5 hours.
Wow.
So I understood that if people really want to learn, I know we live in a world where everybody wants everything quick, quick, with as little effort as possible. And in this case, the effort is taking time out to watch the video in its entirety. If you have a test coming up and you have study notes and it's 25 pages and you skim it and fail the test, are you surprised that you missed information?
That's right.
Same thing here, it's not, so by the way, that practice session got a lot of views. And because I think the thing that stood out the most about that practice session, it was informative as far as technique on the motorcycle, but it was very, very evident that we were having a ball out there. We were having fun. It was fun. Like if you're watching the video, you'll laugh too. And I was also learning from people coming. So my first practice session didn't have 13 things to do. It was maybe 7, because in my mind, why would I have to have starting and stopping? Everybody knows how to do that, right?
Sure.
Wrong.
Absolutely.
So
no, not everybody knows how to stop correctly.
No. So the channel evolved based on the need of what I saw that people had, and me learning from people too. You never stop learning. And I really don't have any plans to stop, but the beauty of this is these videos are going to be part of my legacy. Now, I got that from my wife. I wasn't even thinking on those lines, but it's always going to be there. That's number one. Yeah. Number two, it's always going to be there helping people all over the world because the videos are free. You don't have to pay to watch them. So you can actually sit down and watch a whole practice session, 2 hours, 3 hours. The good thing about YouTube is if you pause it, when you come back, it'll be at that same spot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you don't like commercials, get YouTube Premium like I have, and you don't have to worry about commercials, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that I know I get emails and comments in the comment section from people all over this globe saying, thank you. This is awesome. I can't believe this. You're not going to find that anyplace else.
No.
And for free? No way. Now, I don't care where you get your knowledge from as far as being safe on your motorcycle. I don't care whose YouTube channel you watch. I don't care what book you watch, but you have to not only watch it and read it, but you have to go out and practice. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's pretty much it.
Absolutely, especially with a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So if you could convey a message to motorcyclists worldwide, I mean, you're reaching people across the world.
Yeah.
What would it be?
I say it at the end of all of my videos. And if I didn't say it, I forgot to say it. Spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. That's the one message I would love to convey to a lot of people. We're all different people. We all have different personalities. So, and with that being said, if you have the type of personality where everything bothers you, if somebody asks you, how's life? You're going to say life's rough. But if you have a personality like mine, I'm laid back. I don't let a lot of stuff bother me. I accept things for what they are and people for who they are. And because of that, it makes it easier for me to just focus on certain things and ignore other things. So if somebody asks me how's life, I'm going to tell them life's great. I'm alive. I'm healthy. My hips hurt it every now and then, but I have hips. You know what I mean? If there's something negative, I can show you the positive. As far as motorcycles and motorcycle safety, my advice is, please understand that these things are not toys. They're fun, but they're not toys. And understand that your options are limited out there based on your skill level. And if you don't practice on your motorcycle and something happens, because that's one of the reasons we practice for uh-oh. When uh-oh happens, if you have no muscle memory built up, because practice builds muscle memory, the odds are it's going to be a bad day for you. Your instincts are usually wrong on a motorcycle. Squeeze and hope for the best is not a good strategy, right? So we have to practice. More importantly, you're actually going to enjoy riding your motorcycle so much more when you know how to actually ride it, right? Confidence in anything we do in life is going to make us feel better. Imagine you said you shoot, right, Renee?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine you never shoot and then you go and you're all over the place on the target and you're annoyed with yourself. Why are you annoyed with yourself? You get out what you put in.
You got to practice.
You know what I mean? So, that's it. That's without going on a tangent. Yeah, that's what I would say. Practice and be consistent. The 3 C's in Preloader Nation are confidence, control, and consistency, right? You have to be consistent. And we will spend hundreds, thousands of dollars to modify our motorcycles, new this, new that, but won't spend a dime on a safety class. Listen, I'm not saying spend thousands of dollars on a safety class. That's why I make what I do affordable. If you're a VI preloader, for VI preloaders, they get to come out and practice with me at my practice sessions in Pooler, Georgia, for free,
nice.
Wow. Much as they want, right? They pay $4.99 a month to be a VI preloader. That's $60 a year. You're not even getting into any class for $60 a year. You're just not. Mm-mm. And what we cover out there is more than you're going to cover in a lot of other places, right? For a lot more. So this is me. I'm the excuse eliminator. So I'm going to get out of your, I practice. When I first started this, I started on my Street Glide, my CVO. And people were like, this guy's crazy. He's out there practicing on a $50,000 motorcycle. But in my mind, what I forgot to say earlier is I learned how to ride a motorcycle through the NYPD. Prior to that, I didn't know how to ride. Mm-hmm. So that's the only way I know how to ride a motorcycle. And that's why it doesn't make me look at one motorcycle and say, I wouldn't do this on this motorcycle, because it's a motorcycle. So anyway, wherever you get your stuff from, get something, go out there, practice, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, Robert, this has been a true pleasure to have you here with us today. And I can't wait to share all of the information that we've went over today with, anyone and everyone I can reach. So thank you again for coming on with me and sharing your story.
Thank you again for having me. It was a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Renee. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.